Jorge Ben, probably pronounced wrong, is a Brazilian guitarist, singer, and composer. He's been active since 1963 and is still going, although he hasn't released an album since 2008. He's known a bit for mixing styles like samba and bossa nova. He's been part of several movements and has been called the father of samba rock. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was apparently Jorge Ben's 14th studio album, and it's my first time listening to it, I think. I have come across Jorge Ben before. Apologies if that's mispronounced. So there are two more reviews on my channel so far that feature him. There's the album A Tabia de Esmeralda, and I quite like that. And also Gil and Jorge, which was Gilberto Gil and Jorge Ben. And I like that even more. So what did I think of this? Well, as usual, I'm going to try and do some description and give some opinion here. So acclaimed music, yeah, categorizing it is a little difficult, as sometimes albums are. That's fine. Acclaimed music describes this as funk, MPB, and samba rock. So I've come across the term MPB before. It stands for Música Popular Brasileira. Again, my pronunciation might be bad, which, from what I can work out, is mostly a mix of samba and other South American traditions and rock of various kinds. Wikipedia describes it as being MPB, so that term again, samba, funk, and soul. So I'm not sure about soul, but I like the description samba funk for this. So there's Latin samba rhythms and percussion backed by a rock band, but with some of the rhythms and some of the grooves are kind of fairly funky. There are bits of African influence in here as well, I would say, and I think that's deliberate. And maybe I'm kind of tempted to think that because of the name of the album, but I do think I can hear that in here. Mostly, I think that's in the rhythm, the percussion patterns. Occasionally, there's strings in the backing, and this is the 70s after all. And I have to say, I've heard a reasonable number of albums from Brazil from the 70s, and strings do seem to have been a thing. I know that there were people, not necessarily in Brazil, but there were people who didn't particularly want strings on their album, but found that there were strings on the album, and this was done by their publishing companies because there was a perception that that's what you needed to do to be taken seriously. The singing here is, I think, I'm going to say I think it's in Portuguese. It makes sense for it to be, being a Brazilian album, but I'm not entirely sure that all of it is. Not that I know Portuguese, but it's just, different languages have different kind of feels to the cadence and to the tones that are used. And sometimes it sounds like it might be something else. I might be wrong. Anybody who knows Portuguese and knows the album, or, please listen to the album and let me know. I'd love to hear. His voice is quite clear. It's fairly strident for something Brazilian for the time. There was a tendency, again, maybe there's just in the albums that I've reviewed and heard, for it to be quite gentle approach, and I do like that, but I quite like this as well. He does sound like he's permanently smiling. One of the things that I've picked up from the Brazilian stuff that I've heard is a general feeling of joy of life that isn't necessarily present in other traditions. And it is something that I do enjoy about it. There's some nice grooves. Some of that is the kind of funk influence. Some of that is maybe the African influence. Maybe those two things are the same. There is a track that I've heard before, which is Taj Mahal, or Taja Mahal, as he sings, and I recognise the wordless chorus in this, which was copied by Rod Stewart for "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" I think it's not contested that that was the case, and this was apparently, they came to some agreement about this. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's about 7.4's worth of enjoyment. It's a bit of a curious mix, I guess, between the between the South African, South American, and the kind of more rock elements. But it's a fun listen. It's a nice listen, so I enjoyed it. So that's what I think. I'd love to know what you think. All opinions welcome. And if you've got any extra information about any of the questions that I've thrown in, especially I would encourage you to let me know things. So please do talk to me through the comments. And that's it for me for now.